News Bill for Sparky Channel. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Ideal National Championship. Come on, let's see what's going on. This is Jordan Finfrock from Kentucky, and this is his competition board. This is the first round of the competitions for the student apprentices. There are 4 rounds to this competition, and the winner will win $40,000. The second place student apprentice will win $20,000, and the third place student apprentice will win $10,000. The first thing he'll do is remove the necessary half-inch knockouts from the metal boxes. Now Jordan will use half-inch snap-in connectors where he's going to be using Romex, and he'll have the screw-on metal connectors where he's going to be using the EMT conduit. Jordan may be checking his drawing here, which we call a scope, to make sure he gets the EMT fittings where they go and the Romex fittings where they go. Now Jordan's going to start measuring up for his EMT conduit runs. If you look at the little drawing, see there's 2 runs of EMT conduit. The run on the left is what we call back-to-back 90. So he's going to have 2 90-degree bends, and they need to hit the boxes perfectly. And each of the ends of those bends is going to have a little offset to bring it up off the wall about 3/8 of an inch. We call those offsets box offsets because they're used to go to a box like this. So the EMT bend on the left is going to be back-to-back 90 with 2 box offsets, and the EMT bend on the right is a simple 90-degree stub. But this bend is also going to have box offsets on each end to go into the boxes. He's now going to make his first box offset, and that consists of a 10-degree bend, usually 10 degrees. Then you twist the conduit 180 degrees, push it away from you a little bit, and then give it another 10-degree bend. It's kind of an art form, but it's important to do it correctly and make it look good. This piece of conduit is going to go on the right hand side, so it only needs one 90-degree bend, but you have to put the bender in the right spot. So he's getting it in the right spot, and you have to get it in the right plane because he's already made that box offset. The box offset has to point the right way. If you make the box offset before you make the 90-degree bend, you have to make sure it's in the right plane. And that's what he's doing. Now he's checking his 90-degree stub with a magnetic level, which you can do if you know that your floor is level. If your floor is level, then your stub will be what we call plumb. So you can put your magnetic level on that and make sure you have a 90-degree bend. Now he's going to measure up to find out where he's going to cut the EMT so that he'll have the appropriate 90-degree bend with the appropriate length. So he's measured up, and now he's going to go ahead and cut the EMT with a hacksaw. Now he's going to go ahead and put a box offset on the other portion of the 90-degree bend. Now it's really important to get this in the correct plane too. So first he's going to make a little 10-degree bend, twist it 180 degrees, push it in a couple inches, and look at it to make sure it's in the right plane, and there is another 10-degree bend. He's going to check it out. Whoa, tweak it a little bit. Okay, I check it out, and he's happy with that. He is not quite satisfied with the way that pipe sat on the wall. He wants to tweak it a little bit more and make it just right. Now let's see how the conduit sits on the wall. We've got the fittings on there, and that's a very nice fit. And now you got to tighten up the fittings. The fittings are part of your grounding system, so they all have to be very nice and tight. But that's a very nice job of EMT bending. And you'll just tighten them down, tighten those fittings down. And now for the second EMT bend. Now Jordan is starting his wiring. Let's stop and just relax and have a little chat about how to wire three-way switch systems in EMT, or electrical metallic tubing. So this is EMT and this is EMT right here, and Jordan is given a black spool of wire, a white spool, and two blue spools. So you may be saying, oh, where is the green ground wire? Well, let's go to the code book and I'll show you why there is not any green ground wire here. Here is 2020 NEC code 250.118, types of equipment grounding conductors. And I want your attention to go right down here to number 4, electrical metallic tubing. So EMT is a type of equipment grounding conductor. So back to our drawing. That's why the contestants weren't given any ground wire. The EMT will serve as a ground wire. So here we have a plug. The plug's connected to the power source, 120 volts, and from this junction box, the only thing the contestants need to wire is one black wire and one white wire. The ground's already taken care of by the EMT. So we're going to run one black and one white up to this three-way switch box. But this being a simple three-way switch, it doesn't need a neutral. And this one's not going to need a neutral either. So our neutral can run all the way through here, unbroken, all the way to the second three-way switch box. It's a home run. You just run the neutral all the way over to here. But you should pull out some slack in case you want to install a multi-location digital three-way switch later on in this box. You want to pull out some slack for that white neutral wire and then fold it back into the box neatly, into the back of the box. Okay, so, but it's uncut. Your white wire is going to go all the way over here. Your black wire is going to come here and extend out of the box so that you can work on it. And then here, this is three-way switch wiring. I've done several videos about three-way switch wiring, and we have some blue wire here. We have 2 spools of blue wire. We're going to use the blue wire to go from this box to this box to serve as traveler wires for our three-way switch system. And we have the neutral home run going all the way over here to this box. So this box is going to be served with a neutral. So the blue wires will be connected to the traveler terminals of the three-way switches on both ends, and this black wire will be connected to the common terminal of this three-way switch. And then this is Romex right here. This will have a black wire and it will be connected to the common terminal of this three-way switch. This black wire is going to be called a load wire because it goes to this light, which is the load. The black wire coming in here is going to be called a line wire because it brings the current into the system. So this black wire will be called a line wire, and this black wire coming out is your load wire. Back to the action. So Jordan is running a black wire and a white wire through the first piece of EMT, and there it is, a black and a white. Gonna pull him out. He's doing great. Okay, now he's going to pull the white wire so that he can have the white wire go all the way to the second three-way switch box unbroken. Now he's putting another white wire in the first EMT. Perhaps he's doing this to provide a ground wire. I really don't know. Here's the second white wire. Now it looks like he's adding 2 blue wires and another white wire into the second piece of EMT.
We're under the 20-minute mark. Just
The
past
2 blue
19
wires
minutes left.
are your traveler wires.
19 minutes.
The additional white wire he may be wanting to use as a ground. Jordan is now hammering on wire staples to keep the Romex just where he wants it. Let's take a pause and look at this carefully just for a second. This is a grounding pigtail. This screw is going to screw into this metal box to bond the metal box to the grounding system. And my guess that he's using the white wire as a ground appears to be correct, because he's hooking it to the other grounds, this being the bonding pigtail. And this is a ground that goes to the Romex. This is a black wire that goes from the Romex, and the white wire from the Romex. And here's your two blue traveler wires, and here's our neutral right here. But what about that white wire being used as a ground? Here we are at the 2020 NEC code 250.119, identification of equipment grounding conductors. Unless required elsewhere in this code, equipment grounding conductors shall be permitted to be bare, covered, or insulated. Individually covered or insulated equipment grounding conductors shall have a continuous outer finish that is either green or green with one or more yellow stripes, except as permitted in this section. So using a white wire for a ground is prohibited by NEC code 250.119.
Look around, folks. There's some competitors that are already putting in some devices. Definitely wiring already. This group is blazing fast.
And he's getting the wires together for the lower three-way switch and putting the ones back in the back of the box that go in the back of the box. Now he's getting his grounds together and cutting the wires to length. And now he's getting ready for the top three-way switch. Ground wire to the ground terminal, blue wires to the traveler terminals, and the black wire goes to the common terminal. He's putting ideal armor bands around the switches.
Starting to see some transition from one side of the board to the other. That's a good sign, especially with only 7 minutes remaining. 7 minutes. We're in the home stretch for these guys and girls. Let's give them some energy. There's not much time left. Looks like we have our first finisher. That's what I'm talking about.
And now for the second side of the challenge board. On this side, Jordan needs to carefully look at all the wiring in the panels and in the receptacles and switches or whatever is there and find the violations. He needs to find the code violations and write them down on his paper. Now, I'm going to make an entire video about this. It's going to be cool because there's a lot of different violations, and I've discussed this with different electricians and so forth. He's looking right now at the board and finding violations and writing them down.
Good job. Did we pick up anything? There's just stuff and you go back with your loved ones. Just go back with what? Your family. Make sure you take your bags, personal items.
You said set this in front of the board, right?
Usually that's it.
Okay.
Got that, your bag, and then whatever you see with.
Put this on there so I don't get everywhere.
Under 2 minutes. 1:45 left. 1:45.
Great job by Jordan. Now the judges come by and judge all the apprentices' work, and only 50% of them advance to the second round. And here is the ceremony naming those who will advance.
Michael Zorinda,
Take it off.
Justin Dunn. Johnny Barnett. Jose Arga. Donnie Reed. There's just 3 names left. 3 names. Moving on to the second round. Jacob Shilrock. Wesley Kessler. And last up, to qualify for the second round for the student and apprentices, please welcome Jason Ambrose. Round 2, let's get it up.
Thanks for watching the Sparky channel.